Hey guys, so a long time ago, last year sometime, someone asked me to make a video of how I make my broth. So I thought, and at the time I had just made broth, so I had tons of it. And now that the holidays have passed and I've done a few baking, I made chicken pot pies last week, or well, actually turkey pot pies, which I didn't film. Probably should have, but I didn't. I'm getting low on my broth, so I thought I would make some broth. And what mine is it's gonna be turkey broth because that's the bones I have. And I'll be making, because I think I've got quite a bit of scraps and bones, I'll be making it in my slow cooker and on the stove. And for like turkey and like those kinds of bones, they need to be on the stove for about, I usually do it for as long as possible, 12 hours. In my crock pot, I'll leave it going for 24 hours. So it'll be overnight, and the stove will be tonight sometime before I turn it off. But I want to go ahead and get it started so that I can go to bed at a reasonable hour and not have to worry about the broth. Also, it's Super Bowl Sunday and I'm not going anywhere, so I didn't really like, dress up or anything, because why? Like I said, I have a lot and I still have more in here. I think this is everything. Got 3 bags, one really big one, and this is just bones. This is just some leftover veg from something, and this is veg and bones. And this is ginormous, so this is gonna actually go in my stock pot because it's all frozen together. This is my stock pot. I actually don't know how big this is. Big. 22 quart. I'm just gonna dump all this in there. And it's got bones and carrot tops and some green onions that were gonna go bad, and if I didn't do something with them, so. And at the time I didn't have anything to do anything with them. So I just stuck them in there. And then I'll put the rest of this in the crock pot. And when I have like chicken parts and things like that, and I don't, if I put them in a Ziploc bag, I don't generally reuse the bags. I go ahead and throw them away, just because of, you never know, if they've got something, I don't know. It's just kind of creeps me out thinking about reusing a chicken bag. So this is the crock pot. It's pretty full. I'm gonna fill the water up to like right about here. As the broth cooks, that will melt in, or it'll thaw down into the water, and that won't be a problem. This is my stock pot that will be on all day long, and I will cover it up with water as well, even though it's pretty tall because of the way it was frozen, but it should be fine. I filled the slow cooker with water just below the rim. Now I'll fill the stock pot to cover the bones and veg. So for the crock pot, put my lid on, turn it on low, and we'll look at it at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I turned on the stove pretty high right now. I'm gonna let it come to a boil, and then I'm gonna turn down and let it simmer till 8 o'clock tonight. And then we'll need to let it cool and put it in jars. The jar thing might not happen until tomorrow. I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's been about 25 minutes, between 25 and 30, and this is coming up to a boil, so I'm going to turn it down so that it'll be simmering for the rest of the day. And look who decided to wake up and grace us with her presence. Good morning. Are you ready to go outside? Perfect timing. Yeah, perfect timing. Oh goodness, that's a big stretch. Okay, it's Monday morning, day after the Super Bowl. I've turned off the broth that I had in the crock pot. I had to put the broth that was on the stove in the fridge last night. And so what I'll be doing today is straining, and well, I'm gonna let the crock pot cool down, but then we'll be straining both sets of the broth and putting them in jars. Okay, it's a little bit later in the day, and I've just got my big bowl and my strainer to start straining and putting in jars. This is the one we had on the stove, and it boiled down quite a bit. Just want to make sure I've got a plastic bag here to put these parts in. This one didn't gel so much, but it will be, and it's also not very clear. Probably if I strained it some more, it would be a little bit clearer. But for what I use it for, it will be just fine. I also don't pressure can mine. I put it in the freezer, just because I have more room in my freezer than I do in my pantry. I also use, for these, the Tatler lids. I bought several a few years ago, and I just did not have luck with them. So I don't know, I mean, it could have been operator error for sure. But I did not have luck with them. They did not ever seal properly for me. And I prefer to, that's another reason why I just freeze this, because I can use these without fear of something going horribly wrong and not being able to use the product at all. So out of the stock pot, I got 4 pints. And now we'll move on to the crock pot. And you'll definitely see a difference because of what I used in each one. The stock pot broth had a lot of carrot tops in them from when we canned carrots last fall. So even the broth looks a little greenish. It smells like regular chicken broth or turkey broth, but it's got a weird greenish tint to it, so. We got 5 pints out of the crock pot. So like I said, you can definitely see a difference between the two. Crock pot has less fat for some reason than the stock pot tends to. So, and I don't have one of those nice fat separator things. So when I thaw these, when I actually use them, then there will be, I'll just scrape the layer of fat off the top and that will be fine. A little bit of fat in there is not gonna kill anything. But usually if it's real thick, then I just scrape it off and move on with my day. Anyway, you can definitely see the difference between the stock pot and the crock pot. And like I said, this one's different because not only the stock pot part, but because we had so many carrot greens that I threw in there, that it's made it a little green. Actually, I think I'm gonna try these the stock pot one, just to make sure. Tastes like turkey broth. Never hurts to make sure. Now I've got a lot of mess to clean up. I'm just gonna put these on a tray. And take them down to the freezer. Also, one thing I need to do is switch these out because I need these new ones to be on the bottom. And my older ones to be on top. It's really dark in here. here's what I do when I make broth. Sometimes it gels, sometimes it doesn't. It's still usable. So, you know, don't stress. I'm not stressed about it. Everything still comes out just fine when I cook with it. But if you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you some other time. Thanks. Where you going? Where you going? Huh? Where you going? Do you smell turkey? Do you smell turkey bones? Yeah.